Hey Alfy, I got your international, all the modifications you wanted done to your international dump truck. Probably the easiest thing to go over first is your rotary beacon. Well, your on and off switch, like I said, it's going to be right underneath here. It's hard to see it, but it's very easy to reach it. Just flip this up is on and down is off. And I'll turn the cab facing the camera real good so you can see. I got your rotary beacons mounted nice on the rear view mirrors, like I said. And that's also controlled by a switch. My label maker just ran out of labels, and I realized that when I moved to my new house here that I lost all my backup. I know I had like 3 extra different colors of labels, but I can't find them. So I ordered more labels. I'll have them in like 2 or 3 days and then I'll put all the markings on the transmitter for you. But this left rear switch controls your beacons. So that was like a faster rotate. That's a slower rotate. That's a slow flash. And that's a fast flash. And then one more time, it's off. And I left the lights alone like you wanted. I didn't do anything to the lights, but I did put the lights on a switch so you can turn them off remotely on the switch. And what else? Then the lift mechanism. I put the limit switches on there like you asked, so that so the screw drives won't over travel. And I have the upper limit set just right so that you'll see the mechanism's just vertical when it tops out. And then the same thing with the bottom. It'll just sit flush. And it's not putting a lot of load on it. Just set just right. And it shouldn't change unless you bang or damage the actual limit switches. But there's really no reason why they would ever get struck or get hit. And then your tailgate, I made up your tailgate lock that doesn't require a servo or anything. It just works automatically. And I also added a magnet assist so that on a lot of these trucks that have trucks that I set up with a tailgate latch that just before the dump bed goes all the way flush, the lock comes up. The problem is if you're sitting uphill or not perfectly level ground, the tailgate will close before the latch does. So what I did is I've added a magnet it doesn't hold it shut. As you see, the magnet won't hold it shut at all, but as soon as it goes near it or closer to it, it pulls it shut, and plenty of time for the latch to come up and lock it. And another thing you'll notice too is the wobbliness of your screw drive. See how it's a little rough? The reason why that's rough is the threaded rod that goes into the coupler to the gear motor that raises and lowers the bed. The threaded rod is smaller than the coupler that it's being inserted in. So when you tighten the set screw down, it's oblonged in there. So I tried messing with it to get as straight as I could, but you can't. It's always going to just wobble while it's running. So that's something we can talk about. I'll shoot you a text later on this evening. I can always pull that rod out and just machine the end of it and make an adapter for it so that it sits square in the hole, and that thing will run much smoother if that's something you care about. And let's see, the beacons and the endpoints and the tailgate and the sound system. Now the sound system, like I said, I was going to go over that real clear for you so you have this video as a reference. So there's 4 different modes for the sound too. So the first mode is to start and stop the engine. So you'll go once to the left, and you can't just go real quick. It doesn't always register. Just go real easy to the left and then to the right, and that should have started. There we go. And that starts it. And now as long as you're in that first mode, you can start it and stop it all you want. And then mode 2, 1, 2 is a horn. That's your horn. But also I have the horn right here. If you ever need it, the horn's always on this left stick, and that's your bed up, and that's your bed down. So, but going back to this, it's one mode to start. First mode starts it. And then mode 3 lowers the volume. So if you go 1, 2, 3, and then hold it, the volume will eventually turn all the way off. And it's kind of nice. You have to be patient. It takes a good, probably 10 seconds to go from all the way quiet to full volume. And then to turn it back up again, it's mode 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it gets really loud. It's got, I put the amplifier in it. It's a Benedetti sound system, plus it has an amplifier in it, so it's pretty loud. Let me turn it down a little bit because it is too much. That's a little better. And I always just move it one, just so I'm in start mode. That way I'm not bumping the volume. And then your forward and back is your right stick. And then your steering, like we discussed, is your knob here. That's your steering. And like I said about driving the truck to the sound is fun because, like on a full-scale truck, when they take off, the RPMs drop a little bit and then they climb. So if you just give it a little throttle, and then increase the throttle as the sound revs up, you can make it look pretty scale. Oh, and I forgot to tell you too. Let me show you where your charging jack is. Your charging jack's right here. Right in your toolbox. And let me turn the sound off a second. And another thing I wanted to tell you, I was telling you that it was 4,600 milliamps of batteries, because all the batteries I was able to fit in there. Actually, I was wrong on the numbers. It's 9,600 milliamps. So it's gonna run for a really long time on one charge, at least a couple hours, even if you're driving the truck around. But yeah, so they're nickel metal hydrides, and they're like 9,600 milliamps. But all the wires and stuff that feed to them and feed to all those different battery packs that I sent you a picture of, those wires aren't good for much over 5 amps. So don't ever charge it over 5 amps.